tarot reading. So I am a year behind. So let's see what we have in store for you. So the first card out here is the Ten of Swords in the reverse position. Now, I was shuffling the cards earlier and a bunch of cards fell out and I had to redo the video. And what I was getting is that it seems like somebody is really interested in you. And it seems to me like for the past few months, okay, and this can go as far back as like summer, I feel that somebody is interested in you. And it seems to me almost like a twin flame type of relationship where you're the person that is running away. You're the person that is not able to commit, okay? And the other person is pursuing you pretty adamantly. So I don't know if that message makes sense, but that's what I was getting when the card showed up the first time. So while I'm getting this out, I just want to say that for a lot of you, you are kind of in the spotlight on the romantic front, and you're going to be able to attract people left and right. So if relationships have been, you know, shaky in the past, it's important for you to go with the new things because you're in a very good position right now to attract very positive new relationship partners into your life. So I just want you to keep that in mind, okay? And take heed as well that your power of attraction is great, and that can be a blessing and a curse. So if you're the type, you know, who wants to play the field, make sure that you are honest and upfront with your relationship partners, okay? Needless to say, because karma does come around, and when the universe gives us blessing and we abuse it, it can create a lot of basically karmic energies that needs to be repaid, okay? So just keep that in mind. So let me just pull out the other 4 cards. Okay, yeah, so I was getting earlier the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So definitely somebody is in pursuit of somebody, and for some reason it has been, you know, stop and go type of energy. And it seems to me like it has been dragged on for quite some time. So this is a good month for you to resolve this issue if you choose to, all right? So I'm going to say that this is a little bit of a troubling month. First of all, we do have the Nine of Cups as well as the Star card. Both of these are wish cards, and they're both in the reverse position. Now, I'm not going to, you know, say that, oh, whatever it is you're hoping for, you're not going to get it, because that sounds very fatalistic. But I do feel that one of the things that I want you to keep in mind about is that there is going to be some type of a revelation as it pertains to people in your environment, okay? Because we do have an air sign here, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and then we do have a fire sign here, which is Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, that you have been dealing with for quite some time. And what I'm sensing is that there is definitely stuck communication, okay? Miscommunication. Or it can be, you know, juggling 2 people, having feelings for 2 people, 2 separate people, and not really knowing where to go. So this is a situation where the wishes that are not coming to fruition, mainly because you're being indecisive. Okay, so if you were to just, you know, pick a route, any route, or pick a path for yourself, any path, then things will be okay. But I understand that you're an earth sign and you want to, you know, I guess cover your bases, and you also want to really sit with a problem and find a solution. So you might not act fast enough. But I do feel that because this has been something that was dragging on, feeling like this is a situation where, you know, enough is enough. You really need to take some type of action here. And a lot of you are kind of fearful of making the wrong choice, because this seems to me like you are very emotionally invested in it. And it seems like it's going to be one of those major life-changing decisions for you. And it can play out in different ways for a lot of different people. But The star is basically the shining light. This is a spiritual guidance. It's also a shining light where the stars are coming out in a time of darkness so that you can find your way and move forward, okay? So I feel that for a lot of you, this is a major life-changing event, life-changing decision. And you're not making a move mainly because you know that it's going to affect you on a very fundamental level. Okay, so you're still pretty much weighing out the pros and cons, and the whole waiting process is torturous, but you don't know what else to do. Take control of your life, and don't give your power away. Take control of your life and make up your mind what you want to do, and trusting your intuition. Trust your intuition, and just know that things will be okay. It is also the time of Mercury for you to sit with your overall, I don't feel that Virgos make decisions very lightly. You've most likely spent months mulling it over and sleeping on it, and trying to figure out the best course of action. So I don't feel that this is a decision that you're making lightly. However, I do feel that it seems to me as if you've made up your mind and you figure out, okay, I'm going to go forward with it. But then the Mercury retrograde kicks in, and then you're dealing with a lot of self-doubt, okay? Maybe something that a similar situation was not favorable, it left like a lot of fear, and it left like a bitter taste in your mouth in the past. And moving forward with this decision, you feel that you don't want the same mistakes to repeat. But I'm going to say that you're dealing with different people in a different context. So don't be afraid. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself unstuck and to also reclaim your power. Okay, so that's the major thing that I'm getting here. So let's talk about this cluster where all the people are. So the first thing I'm sensing is, for those of you who are dealing with an air sign, once again, it is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. I do sense that there is an element here where communication overall is really has been problematic, okay? It has been problematic for quite some time. So I definitely feel that this is something that you need to address if you want to move forward with this person. And I don't feel, because it's a page energy, it could be somebody who is significantly younger. Okay, this can be even a child or just somebody that you're dealing with. And communication, for some reason, you're not seeing eye to eye. You're not aligned philosophically. And it has to do with, it could be just because of the differences in elements, or it could just be the fact that they are biologically younger than you, and it's difficult to bridge that generational gap, okay? I do feel that they look up to you a great deal, is what I'm sensing, because just the energy that I'm getting here. If this is, if this resonates with you and you feel like this is the person that you're deciding between and you don't really know how things pan out, well, I'm going to say that if you want to overcome the communication problems, you're going to have to give it a try. And air signs in general are very, very communicative. So whatever communication problems or emotional blockages that you've been having in the past with this person, you really have to, let your guard down a little bit and approach them in a very non-confrontational and non-critical light in order for things to advance forward, okay? That's with an air sign specifically. If you are dealing with a fire sign, and the fire sign is represented by the King of Wands here, I do feel that for a lot of you dealing with the fire sign, you've it seems to me as if there were situations in the past that you felt as if you're getting the short end of the stick, okay? And this can be in romantic or just other interpersonal relationships, where they say they're going to do something and they don't really follow through. And instead of holding them accountable, you gave them another chance. And because of it, I don't feel that it's anything that you're doing, but I do feel that they are innately unreliable. So instead of holding them accountable for it and having some type of a discourse between, how that their behavior and how that made you feel, it was basically swept under the rug. And it's funny, I was getting the same type of energy for Leos as well. So there is a fire sign where flakiness is definitely an issue. And the flakiness, it can go both ways. I don't feel Virgos are innately flaky. I don't sense that with Virgos. But then again, your moon and ascendant signs can alter your behavior. But I do feel that, the problems were never properly addressed. And it became a pattern. It became a habit. It became a pattern. And now you're so deep in it, they don't feel it's a problem and you feel it's a huge problem. But you don't really know what to do to make them see, to make them, to open their eyes as to how this affects you. So this is definitely, things that you have to work out in your interpersonal relationship. So the month overall is not, I don't feel like it's very difficult. It's just about, setting boundaries, and it's about communicating with the other person effectively, which are things that you're not going to have problems with because you're an earth sign and because you're ruled by the planet Mercury. So that's not the problem. The issue here is not letting other people cross your boundaries. So, boundary setting is a two-step process. The first is that you have to draw your line in the sand. And the second step is like drawing your lines is not enough because these are imaginary things. So people can easily step over whatever, step over your lines. So defending defending your boundaries is the harder step in that process. And a lot of people don't understand this. They tell somebody verbally, I will not stand for this. And then they expect the other person to follow through. And then when the other person doesn't follow through, they don't call them out on it. They don't hold them accountable. So holding somebody accountable for their actions is something that you're going to have to do to, I guess, maintain, sustain, and also defend your boundaries, okay? Think of this as like, I guess, psychological warfare. And you don't want to let other people encroach upon your boundaries because it creates situations where we give too much of ourselves and then we end up empty-handed, okay? It allows other people to, it basically sends out mixed signals, and then other people will basically push, or they will test to see how much they can get away with. So I feel that for a lot of you, setting boundaries and defending your boundaries is going to be required of you, especially for this year, okay? That's the main theme that I'm sensing for. And also just thinking very critically about solutions to problems. This is the only thing that I am sensing coming through for you. It's pretty straightforward, but I do feel that it is going to be a little bit difficult because I sense that for a lot of you, you really like a person, in whoever it is, the air sign or the fire sign. You really like them and you feel that, okay, I don't want to impose myself upon them, mainly because I don't want them to leave. I don't want to turn them off. I don't want them to feel or think a certain way about me. And you really have to keep in mind that I feel for a lot of you, the first message that I was getting is coming back in, which is that they've actually liked you for quite some time. And I feel that no matter what you do, they're still going to like you, okay? But they have some they have some learning that they need to do. They have some growing up that they need to do. So it would be in your best interest to kind of take their hands and lead the way, okay? They're not going to be repulsed by you. No matter what you do to maintain your boundaries, they will understand. And that's why I'm saying that I'm seeing here that the wish fulfillment will only come in when we know what we want and we work to achieve what we want and we're headed in the right direction. Okay, so this is we have the two wish cards in the reverse, and that's why I say don't make it fatalistic. Okay, and I feel that if you're afraid of turning somebody off just because you want to set the ground rules, don't be afraid. Ground rules are important, and if you don't do it, I do feel these two characters, they have ways of throwing you off balance, is what I'm sensing. Okay, aside from that, I do sense that financially for this month, I don't feel that you're going to hit major obstacles or anything like that. But I do sense that some type of travel is also in the trip. So you're solidifying some type of plans. You're planning things out right now, and that's what you're trying to sort through. I also feel as if this is the month where there's a lot of celebrations. Like you're going out a lot and you can be physically overtaxed and you're going to start to feel it. Okay, so take some time off to rest. I feel almost like, feeling physically drained, feeling very physically drained, and also feeling very, very mentally taxed. Okay, so that's something that you're going to have to sort through in order for you to find your equilibrium. All right, for a minority of you who are in established relationships, I do feel once again we have the Hierophant card in the reverse position. So this traditionally indicates to me divorces and things like that, separations. And a lot of you might be in a situation where you're spending time with the children, and there might just be, if you're going through a separation, you might have a very limited time window to spend with your children. And so let's say that you're separated from your ex-partner and you have kids together, and your parenting techniques are very, very different. You want to do things a certain way. You want to be, very on top of the kids, or you want to be very lax. But whoever your ex-spouse is, they have different ideas when it comes to parenting. So these clashes are coming through where you have the kids for part of the time, and you tell the child to do something and they try to tell you, but mom or dad wants us to do it this way. And it's really difficult to discipline a child when, the ground rules are not consistent between two separate households. Okay, so like I said, going back to the original comment, ground rules are very, very important because I feel like you're dealing with a younger energy and they're very malleable. So as long as you lay down the ground rules, they are going to be able to obey you, basically. But I do feel that there is somebody a little bit sneaky in your environment. This can be the air sign, okay? So the air sign, the Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. If you're dealing with this person as a parental figure, for example, if you're their mentor or you're taking care of them or in some way, I feel like they like to push boundaries. So that's why boundaries and setting ground rules would be important. And I feel it seems like you turn your back and they're up to no good. That's what it seems like to me. So if this is a relationship partner and you're starting to feel this way, there's no point in staying in it. And if this is a child, then you're kind of stuck with them. So you have to teach them the right way to behave, and you have to talk to them about personal responsibility, integrity, honesty, and all of those things. But I definitely feel like there's trust issues here, okay, and it's coming from both sides, because of lack of consistent boundaries, lack of ground rules, lack of discussion, and just overall trust issues. coming in from both sides. So I just want to emphasize that, okay? It's not all in your head, but I do feel that it's not one-sided, meaning that it's not just that you don't trust them. It's just they also don't know where they stand with you. So that's why ground rules, foundation setting, boundary setting is very important, especially if you're dealing with a child. I also feel as well that it's just, you know, for those of you who have recently divorced and are now sharing children, it's very challenging, especially if you are the female Virgo and you're sharing the children with possibly a fire sign. I do feel that the fire sign is not very vigilant when it comes to child rearing. They're not really sure what their kids are up to. I also feel that there is a very lack of structure within the household, so the kids like run the place and they don't really have very strong a firm foundation. So then the how when you take care of them, they destabilize your environment, they destabilize you emotionally. So that's just something you have to work out with the father if he's in the picture, okay? That's just something you have to work out with the father. So I'm sensing that specifically for Virgoan women who have children who are divorced from like a fire sign father figure, or separated from a fire sign father figure, or just have kids, never married, but now are dealing with, you know, joint custodies and things like that. So that's what's coming in. Because of all the reverse cards, I'm going to actually pull out a few more cards I'm going to pull out 3 more for you guys, just to see if there is, yeah, well, we have several. So I do feel that, you know, emotionally for this month, it's a very emotionally exciting month. It can feel like a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. I want to emphasize as well that if you like somebody, I just want to say that they're chasing after you too. So just make it known, okay? That's the message I'm getting. So this is a reciprocity, and this is emotional stability, emotional contentment, and this is the apex of emotional happiness. So you are going to get what you want, but you really have to act on it, and you really have to act fast, okay? Additionally, we have the Eight of Swords here, and this deals with, you know, a situation where you feel very stuck. But the reality of it is you are not stuck, so you can definitely get yourself out of it. This is a situation also where you feel like you don't have all the information, but Virgos, I'm sensing that you're dealing with a lot of self-doubt, okay? You actually do have all the information you need, but it's the self-doubt that is making it seem like this, because the next card here is the High Priestess, which is trusting in your intuition. So I can't say any more about this because the cards are all corroborating the same theme, okay? You basically have everything that is going to make you happy, okay? You're going to end up in a very, very good place. It's the self-doubt that is keeping you very stuck here. And trust your intuition, trust your capabilities, trust that you have everybody's best interests at heart, trust that you're on the right path, trust that whatever feelings that you're picking up from other people is being reciprocated, okay? So trust issues or even love, attraction, whatever it is, whatever you're picking up from other people, it goes to both ways. So trust in your intuition, okay? You can also visit my website. The scheduling and, you know, rates and things like that